today. Um, let's just start out with the homework. Actually, yeah, I believe this was the homework last week. And we were just gonna generate a table with m rows and n columns, and then the element in the nth or the ith row in the jth column of the array should be I times j. I think only Eric got assigned that, so Eric, you can just send that to me right now or just put it on Google Classroom. Both are fine. Okay. So you took the input of the row and the column. Grid, and then you have an array for a grid. Okay, and then for I in range M. Alright. Does your code work? Or alright. Let me compare it with my own code. I think I did a few things differently, but I don't really remember. So let's see. Python class. Alright, yeah, I don't think I have the file right now. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good in general. So here's a review of the list methods we learned last week for those of you that weren't here. I'll just run over them quickly. Honestly, you don't really need to memorize them since if you're coding, you can always just look it up. So append adds the element to the end of the list. So you would do list, the name of your list dot append, and then the element you want to append would go inside the parentheses. So list dot append hello. Clear clears all the elements from list. So list dot clear, list dot copy, list dot count, list dot extend. Index is pretty important. It returns the index of the first element with a specified value. So if I have a list and the list has hi, hello, and howdy, then index hi would return 0. List.index hi with hi in the parentheses. Insert is also pretty cool. It adds the inserts what you want into the specified position. So if I want to add hello there to the very beginning, then I would say list.insert hello there, comma 0, I think. Pop removes the element, removes it, but pop stores it. So if I say list.pop whatever you want, then it will store it into that variable. Reverse, I don't really use that. It just reverses the order, and sort is also not that useful. So we'll do one more program, and then I believe we'll be going on to learning about functions. So everybody should open up idle right now, and then count the total number of digits in a number using your loops or your lists. Probably you want to use loops here. Once you're done, you can private chat me the code or something else. Anything else is fine. Oh, I think that this was actually supposed to be given a number, count the total number of specified digits in the number. So if I'm the number 1232123, and I told you to count how many twos were in that number. So that's what it means. Sorry about the wording. Yeah, you just need to split it and do some other stuff. Remove. Maybe you want to loop. I'll give you guys 3 more minutes and then I'll just write my own code, okay? All right, Eric, you can share yours. Is Anna done yet? I think you can just share in public, yeah. I don't think we need to spend too much time. It's just a few list methods. Because used extend. Num equals input num, digit equals input digit, digits equals, oh, okay. Alright, yeah. So, and so basically what Eric did here is he used extend, right? So he used extend and he took the number and he used count, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine. I was actually planning on using split, but that works too. Now we'll move on to defining functions. So here I define a function and I use def. Define my function is the name of the function. Don't forget your colon and then print this is my function. So then if you just type the name of your function with the parentheses, it will call your function. So here I have some parameters and arguments. I have a function called the name function, and it takes one argument, which is your name, and then it prints hi name. So if I input, if I call the function and inside of the parentheses I put whatever my name is, then it will say hi Python program or whatever the name is. Over here, instead of, if you wanted to use input, a really easy way to do this is to just put input inside. Right? Just in case you didn't know that, it's a good trick. So then for this function, the output would be, first it would ask for your name, Python programmer, then you would say hi Python program. Now let's move to a function in a function. So what we did here is I defined a function called find name. And technically, I mean, since we're not doing too much, I decided to add another step and I made the input all lowercase. So in case you want to store the name for future uses and you want everything to be in the same format, you can just use .lower, right? .upper is fine too. Is a lot of people like to use .upper, but so I just set the variable find it as the input and I return. Return is another thing instead of functions that you can use. Basically, if you set it as a variable, like over here, name equals find name, then we'll just return this, right? And then it'll just print hi plus name. The thing is that you can't just have a variable over here, find it, right? The variable over here you won't be able to use it inside of the second function because this variable find it only exists in the function in which you defined it in, right? It won't just move to the next function. So we'll talk a bit more about global variables and local variables later, but just remember that you can't carry over variables. So that would be the end of this class. Is kind of short. But the homework would be to make what was that function again? It was this array program, and then you make it using functions like this over here. And another thing I want to see is you use a main function. Let me switch over to idle. Alright, so when you make this function, you want to use a main function. And this main function will contain everything you have. So say rows, columns, print, something like that. So it'll just, everything will come out of the main function. But you can also have helper functions such as, I don't know, rows and columns. I mean, since the program is not very difficult, you could technically just put everything inside of main, but I don't really want you to do that. Make sure you have a main function and at least one helper function. So that's just the end of class today. See ya. And Anna, if you still aren't too sure about this function stuff, you can always just work on the original homework, which is right here. You want to print a Python program, write a Python program, and then it takes the rows and columns as inputs, and you make an array. All right, try to do that by next week. Oh, Eric, so, I mean, you can store booleans as true equals true and false equals false, but again, it's just not that elegant. A lot of people just, I mean, why would you do that if you can just remember to have a capital T every time? Also, if you're using Replit, a lot of the times it will point out your mistakes before you run. But yeah.